Hey guys, it's Bree. So today is another live episode because I am babysitting and the boys are really hard to get to sleep tonight. I've also got my period, so I'm going to keep this episode a little bit shorter than usual. I'm going to keep it to half an hour. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I did just post a picture on my Instagram. You can probably kind of work it out there. And if you can't, for some reason, comment on YouTube, it's down on the side somewhere. That side, that side, that side, that side. Then comment on my Instagram, and I go through a couple of them. However, I don't check Facebook, so can't really ask me on there. I am just going to double check that I've posted this in places. No, it's running. Yes, it is. So, okie dokie, let's get going with the questions. Gotta find it first. I didn't really realize I was going to do this today until, because I only got asked to babysit today, so I didn't have much of a time warning to give people that I was going to do this. So you gotta give me a minute to just double check things. Okie dokie. Okay. So the first question I've got on Instagram is your favorite inspirational quote. That's a good one. Well, the quote that I always say, I don't think it's actually from anything. I kind of made it up, I think, was that destiny is not the path that's chosen for you. It's the path you choose to walk yourself. So just meaning that even if you have a lot of problems or something and you think you're going down the path this way, you can choose to go down a different path. It's all up to you. You're not set by fate. You choose your own fate. That's kind of like what that saying is for. So, I think I've just seen the first comment. Yeah, I don't think there'll be many people watching this one because I haven't had a chance to tell people it's happening. But someone said hey, so hey back. What's the next question? Tips for starting a YouTube channel. You know what? I constantly get asked this question. I think I have a couple of private messages as well. And to be honest, I think the truth is with YouTube, you have to find a niche. So don't do videos that someone else is doing, or if you are, try and do something differently because, if you're just doing the same as somebody else, well, people are going to watch that other person because they've done it for longer, they're more professional than you, and you won't have any plus over them. So that's my biggest tip for YouTube. You've got to have a niche, which I definitely seem to find. Even though people are doing videos on reusable menstrual products before I started doing them, they weren't doing them frequently. And also I kind of expanded out, not just from reusable menstrual products, from periods in general and the other topics that surround it. I'm just reading through a couple of comments I've had from other videos. Well, this one is not so much a question, but it's an interesting topic because I've had a message, I won't say her name, but basically someone said that she had an issue with an x-ray and she was in hospital, I think, and the doctor asked if she'd started her periods and she said no because her sister and dad were with her. I do not understand this. Why having someone else in the room means you should say no, you have a period. You younger girls, something to realize is you can have a lot of issues with your period. Most of the time, you will not. But if you do have a problem, you want somebody to know that you have your period because otherwise you're going to have trouble people believing you. They're going to think, oh, you're just starting your periods, that you have no idea what's going on. You need to tell someone you've started because otherwise, if you have an issue, who are you going to tell? It's silly to be embarrassed about it. It's all part of the social thing that we have, with girls thinking periods are gross and all that. But, and I mean, it's sad, but it's the truth. And really and truly, you should just, trust your instincts. And if something's wrong, you need to tell somebody. But more to the point, when you start your period, it's just your period, just tell somebody. Okie dokie. Let's see what we've got here. Well, okay, no more questions since I asked. Okay. Why is it saying... Sorry, some people have just said that the link is broken. Well, hang on, I'm going to just try and comment here for a second because I posted the link on my Facebook page. Did you find it difficult to find the link? Anyway. Okay, so any advice if your period is 5 days late? I'm definitely not pregnant. I'm taking extra iron. Any other things I could do? Sometimes you just skip a period, to be honest. We don't really know exactly the reasons why. It just happens. So if that's the case, then I guess, don't worry too much if it's just one time. Sometimes it just happens. If it continually happens, then you might want to go see a doctor. It can mean you didn't ovulate that month. Sometimes that happens. It could also just be very late if you're stressed, if you've been traveling a lot. There are all sorts of things that can disrupt your period, especially if you've been around a lot of girls recently. Your cycles might be syncing up, so don't worry too much about it. Yeah, people definitely seem to be having issues finding this link. Hang on. That's also hi Brie, I loved your birthday cake. Thank you. I loved it too. It's very yummy. Okay, what made you want to start making period videos? Well, I guess I just really loved the new product, and it was the first time I discovered it, and I thought, I wish I had been told about it more. So I wanted to try and make YouTube videos that got more popular or got like a lot more views than the other videos were getting, to try and spread the word a bit more. And I think I definitely achieved that. So I kind of achieved my goal with that sense, but really and truly, I think my main goal was just to spread the word a bit more. I never thought it would get this big. I thought, well, maybe I might get 100 subscribers, and then after that I thought, well, maybe I should aim for 1,000. I think after I reached 1,000, my next biggest goal was 10,000, and then after that it just kind of seems like it just continues rolling on. It doesn't really amaze you as much as that first 100 and that first 1,000 really gets you. They're probably the most like, oh my gosh, numbers. But that was why I started making videos. Oh, why are people having so many issues with my YouTube channel? Oh, let's see if I try and find a way to post the link on my page. I don't know what's going on with this thing, guys, I'm afraid. Hang on a second, I've had more questions, so I'm just going to answer them. Was your birthday fun? My birthday was really fun, actually. My party was the perfect thing for me. I'm kind of the person who just likes to have a small group of really close friends, and I just prefer, to have like really close friends and do things with them. So I had like just a small intimate party with them, and we just did quizzes and stuff, and it was really good. So I really enjoyed that. And then on my birthday, I was competing in a competition for dancing, so that was why. Right, I think I've discovered the issue. It's not showing up in like people's subscription boxes, which I've been having issues with subscriptions showing up in my box. So maybe that's the reason. Yeah, someone else saying I've had a great birthday. I did, thank you. I think that must be why. Why is it doing this? Who knows? Oh well. We'll just stick to the little things. I definitely put a link on. Oh, it does help if you publish it, doesn't it? Oh, great. Hang on. 1 second, guys. I just realized I didn't press the publish button on Facebook. I'm so, illiterate with technology. Not. Keep asking questions, though. I'll answer them. So double check. Okie dokie. Right, that was pretty silly of me. Let me see what anyone else said. Right, let me try to think. I always get these questions like constantly that I always think I really should answer and I never get around to. Let me see. Well, if anyone was struggling, you'd have to have already found this, I think. Okay. Now I have a question. So I have a question. I want to be open with my dad, but I'm not sure how to tell him I've got it. I don't live with him, but I'm a daddy's little girl. I think dads take it the hardest, to be honest, when girls start their periods, because it's like the first step into womanhood. You're no longer a little girl anymore. Well, my dad was introduced to my periods because my mum told him. My parents are still together, so that was easier for them. But we were on our way up to a camping trip, and I was determined that no one would know, that I would like hide it, and that I would just be so professional about it and wouldn't ask them. I was so mad at my mum for telling my aunt. I was like, Mum, I don't want you to tell her. And she did tell her, and I was so mad about it. But actually, it was probably a good thing, because I took a while, to go to the toilet once, and she would have questioned that otherwise, thought I had an issue. But because she knew I had my period, it was easier. So don't do what I did and be stupid and be like, oh my God, I don't want anyone to know I have it. Just tell freaking people, be like, oh yeah, I have my period. Because trust me, if you do it like that, like, yeah, I have my period, like, oh my gosh, it's totally normal, what the hell are you making a fuss about it for? People feel really awkward. Like, okay, like she thinks I'm an idiot if I'm talking about this silly, making a big thing out of this. And trust me, tried and tested, it works. What's the other thing I was going to say? But with your dad, trust me, when I told my dad, basically, I just handed him at the end of my period. Because I was so inexperienced and I'd been on a camping trip, I'd literally just taken disposables, folded them up and put them in the bag with my like blood-soaked underwear and shorts and trousers from the camping trip. I just gave him the whole plastic bag and was like, here you go, Dad. These need washing. So he had to sort out my bloody pads and pants and all that kind of stuff. So hi, Dad. that was his introduction to periods and stuff. And yeah, so I guess that's how my dad found out. I never actually physically told him, but I guess. Oh, what was on the way? One thing I guess I would do to him once was I'd say like, oh, I need to go to the supermarket, I need to get pads or something, and that way he'd know that I had my period. So that's one way you could do it. Okay. Do you own any pads that you sell on your website? Yes, I do. I have I have one that I like wear on my heavy days sometimes. I really like this bamboo charcoal. I don't have any of the new style pads on because I have enough pads of my own. Okay, hi Brie. What are your suggestions for dealing with discomfort with a cup? Often when I go to empty it and put it back in, it feels uncomfortable and a bit painful. Is it painful taking it out or painful putting it back in? Because one thing I discovered today as well, actually, if I put my cup back in, I don't push it up high enough. I feel like not pain, but pressure, like my vagina is being opened by something, which it is a cup. If I push it up higher, that discomfort immediately goes. So, and also putting lots of lubricant on makes a huge difference when reinserting, I found. So yeah. How old were you when you started dancing? I was 5 years old when I started dancing, and I was 6 years old when I started competitive dancing. Okay, I've told everyone but him this was a great help. Well, I'm very happy it was. You can just sometimes be like, hey, it's on my period. Oh, this might not be a question that anyone's asked. Hang on, I'll go onto my photo in a second. But I see it all the time. How to deal with friends or boys that are being stupid about periods. And I'm very lucky. I've never had to deal with anyone like this, but I've always been the weird child, obviously. Like I talk about periods and stuff. That's how you're considered at school. If you're different, you're weird. That's just how it goes. You get further, but still weird. So I was naturally the one who was kind of picked on and teased. I wasn't bullied because there were times when they did overstep the mark, and there would always be someone else in the room who would say, guys, that's too far. Or actually, if I said to them, hey guys, I really don't like it. If you do that, please stop doing that. They would stop doing it. And a bully doesn't do that. So, and I was never pushed around or anything. But they would tease me about things. The best thing I ever found to kind of combat the teasing was if they made like this joke to me, I pretend to be doing something on my phone or like writing something down, and then I go, oh, sorry, what? And when you do that, you see, once I've already told the joke, doing it again obviously makes it less funny. You know, when someone's trying to play a joke on you, or it's just like, oh, you're doing that, or something. I'm trying to think of a good example. Like, you're all sitting around a table and you're using, like, this is an awful example, but using like a fluffy pen and like, or using that really girly pen, you just keep on writing for a couple of seconds and you go, sorry, what? It sounds not funny to say it again, and they realize that, so they go, oh, nothing. You know exactly what they said, but they go, oh, nothing. So they stop teasing you. And the thing is, they can't make a joke out of it after you've done that, because you didn't initially get the whole, you didn't pick up on the teasing the first time. It works wonders. But the other thing is, if they do then go, like, you're the period girl or whatever, I'll be like, yeah, you know, I talk about periods, completely natural thing. Or I'll just look up and be like, smile, get back onto your work. That is the most awful thing for them. You just kind of look at them and you smirk and you go back to your work, because they know you're thinking something about them, and you're being like super elusive because you're not telling them. They're worried that they think that you think they're weird. It works all the time. You just got to basically go, okay, you're really stupid in your head. That's just how it works. And they stop doing it. Trust me. Did it loads of times at school, figured it out, works wonders. So if you have people being silly about this sort of thing, you're just like, yeah, you know, periods, everyone has them. Like, what's the big deal? And then you go back to your work or go back to whatever you're doing. Like, okay, you're just too immature for my time. Really does work. Anyway, just thought I'd tell you that. Do you recommend organic cotton disposable menstrual pads? Yes, I do. They're a very good medium because, number one, they're biodegradable, so they're not as bad for the environment. Number two, I think they're also better for the smell factor. But number three, also because they haven't got the chemicals, they're better for your body. If you're worried about the chemicals, especially TSS or tampons, they're much lower risk, so they're better. Well, not the pads, but the tampons. I think they're definitely a very good alternative if you can't get hold of reusables, or if you can't use reusables for the time being. You could express to your parents that you're worried about the chemicals, so could you please use this organic brand? However, bear in mind they are a little bit more expensive. Yeah. Let me just check on my Instagram quickly. How do I stop my cup from leaking? I've tried everything in the book, nothing's working. Sometimes a menstrual cup just doesn't work for your body, and you really don't know this until you try it out, to be honest. You can read up all I have a video on how to stop your menstrual cup from leaking, so you might as well just have a look at that quickly. But sometimes a cup just won't work for you, and that's the truth. Where can I find the feed on your YouTube, Precious Stars Pads? I can't. It should come up in your subscription boxes. If it isn't, I don't know. How do you find it? Like, does it not come up or something? I don't know. Well, you guys have clearly managed to find it, so I can't really help those people. I don't know why it's doing that. Weird. Usually it's fine. Do you have any pets? I do. I have 2 cats. One's called Socks and one's called Maple. Socks is very fat, Maple's very thin. Oh, my legs are getting stiff. Right. Okay. How old did you turn? Oh, you mean like my age? I turned 18. I'm sorry, my neck is bad. So I was supposed to have a chiropractic appointment, and I was supposed to go see my solicitor today, as you'll see in my period vlog. But I had really bad cramps earlier, so I didn't get to do any of that. When did you start babysitting? My first ever babysitting job, I think I was 11, but I had my mum with me and it was for family. My first paid babysitting job was for someone across the road when I was about 13 or 14. And then my first frequent babysitting family, which I'm looking after now, was when I was 15. And I just got someone else who's like a relative to my dancing teacher, so who I'll probably start babysitting for frequently from September. So yeah, just that's how it started, I guess. When did you start your period, and when did you start using cloth pads and cups? I started using... Hang on, sorry. Oh, the link's still working. If it's breaking up, I'm really sorry, guys. It's probably the bad connection. I started my period when I was 14. Yes, 14. So I was just beginning year 10 at school. And I started using cups and cloth pads when I was 15, around April 2013. So I think I used disposables for just over a year and a bit, almost 2 years, which was horrifying. And I can't believe I did that. I wish I'd known sooner. And I used cups and cloth pads at the same time, I think. I started with a cup, but I also bought cloth pads that exact same month. So, yeah. When do you think teens should get a phone? I got my first phone when I was 10, but that was because I went to a boarding school and I flexi boarded sometimes. Well, I live in the city and I went to school in the countryside. So occasionally I would board overnight and my mum liked to have like some way of talking to me. So I had like the most cheap phone you could possibly get. I think it was £10 at the time. It's just a basic Motorola phone. But I loved it. And I could like text people and call people. It didn't have a camera or anything. But yeah, it was a very good basic phone. I did the job and I was very good with it. I mean, you could put £10 on that phone and it would still last me 6 months. It definitely wouldn't do that now. But it did at the time. So I was very good with my phone bill. So that's when I got my first phone. I think there's many different reasons. I got my first iPhone October 2013. So I've almost had this one for 2 years now. This is the iPhone 5C, I think, which is fine. I'm not worried about updating it every time there's a new one. Okay, let me go through here. Can you buy organics in America? Yes, you definitely can. In fact, they should be more frequent over there. More easy to get your hands on over there. Oh, to find the link, you can go onto one of my old videos and like a pop-up appears saying that I'm live now. You can click on that to get to the live chat. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Thank you for that. I'm going to just comment on it. 1 second, everyone. Keep on asking your questions and I will get to you. One second. Yeah, can't spell video apparently. Hang on, I'm going to dictate to it. Should pop up saying that I'm live and you can click through that way. Okay, there we go. That was simpler. Instagram, for YouTube. Okay, we'll try it this way. 32 comments. I keep getting cut out. I'm sorry, guys. I think it's just the connection. Do your cloth pads smell or do you drink a lot of water to get rid of the smell? Cloth pads shouldn't smell. The only reasons they might possibly smell is if you have a slight infection or if you sometimes people who have very high iron in their blood find that their pads tend to smell a bit. But what you can do is soak them in a bucket of water with either tea tree oil or lavender oil, just a couple of drops overnight, and that should get rid of any smells. But cloth pads themselves shouldn't smell because they don't have the chemicals that react with the blood that disposable pads typically do. So my pads never ever smell. Actually, my menstrual blood in general doesn't smell. I took my cup out earlier and it was about this full, and I was like, I swear it usually smells, but it didn't smell at all today. So I hadn't left it in for long. I think I've had it in for 5 hours. So it's when you leave it for a long time, it might develop a smell, but that's just because the oxygen supply's been cut off. Okie dokie. Let's just look through a couple more. Do you have any tips for dealing with nausea? Try the Trevella nausea tablets. You suck on them and they're amazing. I think they work great. I had a sugar rush earlier because I ate too much sugar, stupidly. And I solved it by drinking a cup of water and just lying down for a bit. Other than that, the other thing you can try is ginger. I took ginger tablets last month or 2 months ago. Was it last month? It was last month, I think, wasn't it? Beginning of June? I think so. I don't know. Oh, it was probably 2 months ago then. Yeah, 2 months ago that I had really bad nausea because I took Glucosamol and I can't take that anymore. and the ginger helped, I think, as well as drinking flat Coke. I'm just looking at what other questions are on here. How do I keep my cup from leaking? I've already answered that question. Do you know anything about the Thinks panties? I've heard of them, but I haven't tried them or anything. I haven't really been interested in them, to be honest. So I haven't contacted them or anything. Do you have any future career goals? I want to kind of keep running my business, that I have now. One thing I would love to do, and I'm kind of really considering doing, is after I've moved into my house and I've settled down financially a bit more, have a clue of what I'm actually going to have each month, I would absolutely love to set up a factory somewhere in rural Africa and employ local people to make a particular part, to make some pads, probably just a panty liner, a daytime pad and overnight, that I could sell on my website and people can just, buy them and know they're supporting that particular factory. Because I sell budget pads now so everyone can use the cloth pads, but I would love to support other projects as well. So that's what I'm hoping to do. But yeah, that's my career goal at the moment. I want to keep doing what I'm doing. I haven't got a goal to change career or anything. I did get a bit sick of it last week, but actually I like it again now. So I think there are days when I think, oh my God, I'm kind of done with periods. But then again, I think actually that's just a bad day, and the next day I'm fine with it. So there's nothing else I really want to do as of right now. Okay, this is an interesting question. Do you think the rumps should be more readily available in high street stores, or do you like that they are made by small business owners? I like that cloth pads and menstrual cups are more welcoming, I guess you could say, to small businesses because they aren't mainstream. When you find out you have them, you can only buy them from small business owners. So I think that's a really good thing because it has two sides to it, because it's bad because not as many people know about them, but it's good because I think it supports smaller businesses more and it makes it easier for us to start businesses in this particular industry. So that's what I really like about it. But yeah, I do wish they were kind of more widely known, but again, with more notoriety, I guess, or being more well known, it means that more places are going to be interested and bigger stores are going to be able to stock them, and they're going to be able to charge much less for the pads, which would be good in terms of people wanting to try them on budget levels, but not so good in terms of it would be more difficult to start as a new business with them. So I hope they get there eventually, but as of right now, it's quite nice that it's small. What made you choose to use cloth pads? I was just sick of disposables, really. They're just so uncomfortable, and I thought the idea of them was cool. They had cute patterns, they were soft, they looked like they would be more comfortable, and they were. So that's what made me switch. Okay. Sippy sippy. I think I've stolen that from Bunny. Pinging the ukulele. Will you keep this on YouTube after today because I keep having problems being live? Yes, I will. I'll leave it up for a few days and you guys can watch it if any of you are struggling. Oh, I've realised half an hour has gone past, but I feel okay. So we'll go on for a little bit longer because some of you are struggling. I've got the doctors soon because my mum's worried I'll be out and I'll feel faint, so I'll just sleep more than usual. Happens all the time, not just on my period. Could it be anemia or CFS? Thanks. I'm not a doctor, so the doctor will be able to tell you. It could be either of those things. There are a lot of things that cause fatigue. But yeah, sorry about that. You just have to see the doctor, see what they say. Okie dokie. Let me see. Okay, there's plenty of questions on here. I'm just going to go back onto Instagram quickly. Any ways to get rid of severe backache? I've been dealing with that this period. It hasn't really, I've had less of an issue with it being painful so much. It's just a horrible ache. Hang on, I'm gonna just grab my camera because I've realized I was going to vlog this and I haven't done that yet. So yeah, Heat, I think, is the best thing for your back. Okay. You should say where your competitions are. I live near Epsom. I'd love to come and watch sometime. I don't usually compete out that way usually. That was just a one-off this time. I don't say where I'm competing because I kind of don't want people to know so they can't come and like kill me and stuff. I know it sounds awful, but that just means you're gonna like run into people more. So I think I've met one or two people out in public before at a dance competition. But I prefer like to not say where I'm going. I just dance and go compete at the times I'm doing it. But yeah. Let me have a look. Would you ever consider professional dance? Do you know what? I've known since I was 6 years old that I never wanted to do this professionally. I still don't. I want to do it well. Like, I'm learning to do a no-handed cartwheel or a side aerial, I guess they're also called, tomorrow with a gym coach. Hopefully, if my cup holds up, my period isn't too bad. That's something I've always wanted to do. I like to set myself new goals. I like to improve my dancing. Sorry, but I don't want to do it professionally. I've never wanted to. It's just to do dancing professionally, you've got to be so passionate about it, and I'm just not. Or rather, I can waver. Like sometimes I can be really passionate for it, and sometimes I'm like done with it. So I've never wanted to do it professionally. I have a feeling though I will always be tied in some way to dance, so that I can live with. That. How do you think the world would look like if men had periods too? Good question. We would probably get a week off work every month because of it. We'd probably get paid more if we worked on our period. We'd probably boast about our periods more. And we wouldn't have to deal with men being like unsympathetic as much. They'd be more sympathetic. I think that is my honest answer, but who knows? We'll just wait for a world where men menstruate. Sorry, all men menstruate, I should say. Because some do. Okay, let me have a look at this. Okie dokie. What can people, this is a good question. Oh, hang on a second. How's it going with the Shatavari? I forgot to take it for when I was on holiday, so I'm having a problem at the moment with like period pain and stuff, but it's not too bad. You watch Bunny? I don't, but I love her does this thing really work videos, and I've been like binge watching them today, so that's why I knew the sippy thing. Are you still vegan? I'm not anymore. I'm just focusing on being healthier with my meals, which I've really failed at over the last few days. But it was my birthday, so I mean, I had lots of cake and sugary, salty, not good things for you, and I've noticed the difference. Okay, here's the good question. What can people... Oh, I've got a horrible mucus in my nose. What can people do to get rid of the gross stigma of using cups and reusable pads? Do you know what? I think it's more the stigma of periods in general than the cups and cloth pads thing. People just think periods are gross and disgusting and that blood is like, what the heck is that? Talking about it, number one, breaks the stigma. Normalizing it, when people get silly about it, you're like, oh my God, it's just a period, like completely normal. That really helps. And yeah, just basically talking about it more. And I find with cups and reusable pads, sometimes a lot of girls girls are talking about it more now, but we'll talk about, oh, it's so uncomfortable with my period and stuff. And I'll just be like, oh, I'm so glad I have to deal with like changing my tampon every 3 hours or being uncomfortable or itchy or sweaty or dealing with smells anymore because I use reusables. I do it that way. That's how it tends to work for me. And it seems to work better. Actually, I was explaining it tonight to the 4-year-old. He asked me what I had in this little pouch that I was showing in my video. And he did some filming for me today. So you'll see that in my period vlog. But I explained to him it was a pad. So when I'm on my period, I bleed on it and then I wash it. And he's like, oh, that's cool. I thought, good child. You'll be a good boyfriend when you're older. Yeah, that was sweet. Anyway. Any advice for starter cups for PCOS sufferers? Typically symptoms being a swollen cervix. Probably want to stick to a shorter cup, so maybe the Maluna Shorty. Cervixes, sore cervixes, I'd go for a softer cup, so maybe the Sabelle. That'd be probably a good cup. You don't want anything too firm. Might have difficulty getting it open, but you don't want anything too ridiculously firm. Wondering how things are going in your apartment hunting and adoption stuff. Well, first of all, I'm not planning to adopt, I'm planning to foster, which is very different. My apartment, the deal is still on. Like we put an offer on a house, it was accepted, it's moving forward. I have to go to the solicitor and take my passport and be like, hey, I'm a real person. I meant to do that today, as I said earlier, but I didn't get around to it because I had my period pain. I'm hopefully going to do it next week, very early on, because I don't want to delay things anymore. I want to get it over with, it done. I want to move in soon. And my grandmother gave me like a lot, well, I guess I could say, she gave me £1,000 for my 18th birthday and was like, hopefully that will help to furnish your house and everything, because 18 is like the big birthday. So that was pretty amazing that she gave me that, and that should help me furnish my house. It would almost furnish my whole house, actually, which is great. And if any of you guys want to send me like art things for the walls, I will actually hang them up, because I have no budget for art or decorations or anything. I'm just budgeting for the basic things like sofas, TV stands. I have a TV, tables and chairs, basic things. I'm not budgeting for like pretty stuff yet. That'll come in the future. So if you want to send me that in my PO box, feel free, go ahead. I still have my PO box. That's another question I get all the time. So apartment's going good. When it comes to fostering, actually at the competition, one of the families who I dance, well, one of the children I dance with, her family is a foster family, so they had a little baby boy there. It was just over 1 year old, that we were all kind of playing pass the parcel with in the day, because he was really cute. He was really good, actually. But it did really reinforce to me the fact that what I'm planning to do is I'm planning to do this next year of dance, because I've only got 1 more year left, and then apply to foster, because also that'll help me get settled on living on my own and planning and budgeting and all that kind of stuff, so I'm really used to it before I'd ever consider doing it, because I'm very sensible, I wouldn't just rush into it because I want a baby. I want to be absolutely sure I could cope with it. And it did make me realize that even though I love kids, if I'm dancing, I can't do both things at once. Like, I can't focus on a baby and getting a little one changed at the same time. So, yeah, I still definitely want to do it. Still very for it. It's still definitely in my plans. But it's not. It probably will be this time next year that I'll apply. Maybe a bit sooner. I don't know. I'll have to see. When you lay on your back, when you're using it, oh, sorry, my nose. It's like blocked with mucus in the back of my throat now, but not in my nose. It's really horrible to make it sound like this. When you lay on your back using a pad, how do you prevent it from rolling over your back? Do you mean sliding back? Because the answer to that is probably tighter underwear. Do you ever plan on visiting America? Yeah, I guess I would. I mean, 50% of my watches are in America. I was looking at your house market the other day and thinking, oh my gosh, it's a hell of a lot cheaper than it is over here. Or at least it was in Florida. Maybe, I think it's a house crash over there or something. But, oh my gosh, your houses are so much cheaper than they are over here. It's like, for example, in Surrey, you could barely get a two-bedroom flat for like £300,000, which is what, like $375,000. You can get like a 9-bedroom villa in Florida for that. I was stunned. I was like, oh my gosh, your houses are so cheap over there. I really should move to America. That would be something that would be an incentive to move to America, that's for sure. But I seriously doubt it. I think going to other places in the UK is a lot cheaper as well, and a lot less drastic change. Scrolling down, I'm going to answer a few more questions, guys, then I'm going to go because my voice is like cracking and stuff. Snap, I'm wearing my dungarees today as well. Gotta love dungarees. They're so comfortable. I just adore mine. Do you need a babysitting license in the UK? No, you don't. Especially for teenagers. Usually it'll be a family that knows you that will come and be like, hey, can you babysit for me or something? I do use online sites as well. I looked at them and they didn't say you needed a license to advertise. I just state, the truth, really, that I have done this, I've done this, and you want to meet up or discuss it with me, then hey, send me a message. Going on holiday and on my period, any advice? I've done a video on that, go check it out. Let me have a look. Is running a small business, difficult? Do you have any tips on someone starting out? Oh my gosh, it is so difficult, trust me. I could not do this and be at school at the same time, that's for sure. It's just a case of like, when I first started, I mean, if I had looked back now, 2 years ago, if I looked at what I'm doing now, I'd have thought, how the hell did I ever achieve that? And there'll be things that I think I should be doing that I think, oh my God, how am I ever going to be able to do that? And just slowly but surely you make little steps towards it to the point where you get to a point where you think, oh my gosh, I could never have done this a couple of years ago. I could never have bought bulk pads from China or anything a year ago. I couldn't have spent the amount of money I do at one time just to buy pads in like I do now. But I mean, you get used to handling larger amounts of money as it increases and your business does better and better, which is great. I'm slightly panicking about how much I spent this month, which I didn't anticipate, but still. Yeah, I think you really have to be quite sure of yourself and know that you can succeed and have some other source of finance as well is a big thing because you don't always do as well as you hope with a business. Let me have a look. How's your new car? It's great, actually. I haven't driven in a while. I drove like a day yesterday, actually, to go and pick up a thank you card for my grandmother and my uncle. For stuff, really. And I haven't driven for a while, and I realized I get really scared on the roads if I haven't driven for a while. So I really should keep making myself drive at least once a week so I don't get that again. But that was pretty horrible. Right, I'm going to answer a couple more questions and that's it, I'm afraid. I know I've said that already, but still. I'm going to go onto my page and just have a look at some of the questions. Okie dokie. Are you a Christian? Yes, I am. And actually, it's funny you should say that because the boys here I'm looking after had a bit of a fight today. They kind of accidentally scratched you, so I'm going to slap you back, blah, blah, blah. And I was looking through their bookshelf, and I just saw the book My First Bible, which I had as a child. And I saw it like My First Bible, and I thought, it's like a sign. I just knew instantly I was going to read them one of the stories now. And I was flicking through to try and find like a brotherly story. And anyway, I came across the story of like the Good Samaritan and also the Great Picnic, where the 5 loaves of bread and the 2 fish fed 5,000. And I just felt like guided to read that to them. And then afterwards, like even they were both saying, I don't want a story from that book. They're boring. But after I read those 2 stories, then they were a lot calmer and a lot better behaved as well, which was probably pure coincidence, but I definitely felt like it made a difference to them. And talking about how you should always help people and be nice to people, that was the main moral of the story, I guess. But I realized afterwards, oh my gosh, I was kind of guided to find that Bible again. And yeah, so I am a Christian. Where do you get dance underwear? I know wear dance underwear. I just wear my normal underwear under my tights, or I just don't bother with underwear at all, to be honest. Okay. 2 questions. Well, this is an interesting question. Is it normal to not be hungry on your period? Well, when I'm really in pain, I'm definitely not hungry. I feel sick, so that I guess is normal. But in general, no, I don't think it is normal to not like eat on your period. It changes your hormone balances, obviously. So I guess it could be normal. And final question. Let me have a look. See if there's a good one. Oh, this is a good one. What's one of your favorite things to do when you're on your period? I like to treat myself to something. Don't know what it is, but I just treat myself to something. Whether it's a nice dress, a new item of clothing, a special chocolate bar, pot noodles, wearing nice underwear, something like that. Something weird, just something that makes you feel better. Binge watching Dance Moms. I don't know. That's what I like to do on my period, and I've just lost my ring. It's just flung off my finger. Where'd it go? Me? Ah, there we go. Right, so that's it, guys. I'm just going to quickly vlog. This is Cammy. Hey guys, it's Brie. Ooh, let's get focused. Hey guys, it's Brie. So I'm just currently doing a live event now, and you can probably just see, if I turn this round, me talking a while ago. Here are some of the lovely people I've been speaking to. Say hi to the camera, guys. Just asking all their questions. So if you ever want to join me for one of these things, you need to follow my Instagram, really, because I kind of post things on there. But yeah, I just wanted to quickly show you what I've been up to. So I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Sorry I had all these issues with it. Hopefully it'll be fine, and I'll leave it up on my channel so you can watch it if you have want to do that. Some people like to watch these back. I always think I could never do that because the quality is so poor. But thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. I will see you later. Bye.